Welcome to today's moon ceremony. This is for the August full moon in Aquarius, the Lughnasadh Celtic Celebration Harvest Festival, and Lionsgate. So we have lots to talk about, lots to do today. So let me stop the share and come and see everyone. Would you please go into the chat and just tell us where you are in the world? I love to look back and see who came and see where people are from. Yuriki probably has the most distance from us. She's in Luxembourg. Yeah, yeah. I knew she was in Europe, but couldn't remember the country for sure. So if you will, in the chat, type in where you are in the world, that would be wonderful. Yeah, Nora from Ohio. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so just continue typing in there. This is the harvest season, at least in the northern hemisphere. And it's time to ask yourself, what have you planted this year? What intentions did you set in motion in the last few months? And what did you set in motion at the last new moon 2 weeks ago? And then contemplate what you're manifesting or harvesting right now at Lughnasadh and the full moon. So before I call the directions, if you haven't already gathered some of your things, you might, I don't think I put it in the email, but you might want to get a candle if you have one so that you can light your candle with Lughnasadh fires. And of course, always bring your open heart to celebrate and joy with this. Bring, incense or herbs for smudging. I've been smudging for about a half an hour, if you can see the smoke still running by. I have several things that I'm doing today with clearing the space. I have a diffuser running with, I don't know if you can see these or not, but with my essential oils today are balsam fir, sandalwood, and lang lang, which are all, part of the harvest and the clearing related to that. I also have a water essence. I distribute these. Some of you may know about them, and I've sprayed this around. This particular water essence is called Fire Walker. So I thought that was very appropriate for what we're talking about today. And so grab yourself a cup of tea or something to drink. Mine is, I make herbal teas, and so this particular one that I'm drinking today is specifically made for the full moon illumination. And let's see, flowers. Anybody have flowers with you? I went out and picked some of my crocosmia. They have a really Japanese looking delicate flower, but they are red and orange, as my dress is today, because orange is the color ray for courage. And we're going to talk about that a little bit as we go into ceremony today. So, and you might have a journal or some paper, because we'll have a couple of times where you might want to write something down. And then the other thing to bring in would be memories of things that you'd like to release and heal. And with that, bring in that open heart to celebrate joy. So we'll work with all those things today. And what I'd like to do first is start with the directions. And if you know the directions in your space, and accustomed to doing this, by all means, do that where you are, or you can just watch the screen and I will turn to the directions. This direction, well, it's kind of diagonal from here, is east for me. So we'll start though in the center. And I say, thank you, divine light. Thank you, divine essence, for coming through and showing us today the path that will help us on our spiritual growth. And I say thank you. I turn to the east, the direction of illumination, of light, and I call the ancestors of the east to be with us, to light our pathway, to show us the lighted direction, to take us for our highest potential and our highest growth. And we thank you for that. I turn to the south. The south has the element of fire, and we thank you for that fire, the fire that warms us, but the fire that is also the healing fire. And we call on Bast and Hathor, who are Egyptian goddesses of dance and rhythm and laugh and harmony, and then Bridget and the Oran Mor from the Celtic side, calling us to come warm by the fire and get ready to let go of things that no longer help us. Thank you. And to the west, I call in Sekhmet and the Morrigan to lead us into introspection so that we may hear the messages from the ancestors to help us on our pathway. And in the north, Ma'at and Danu rise up and ask us to step forward, to let go our fear and grasp the courage to be able to manifest wisdom consciousness and step into the role of the warrior of the heart. And I raise my arms to the heavens and say thank you to the moon. We come to honor you today. We thank you for your illumination, your brightening our path, your energy and vibration to help us remember who we are. And I reach down to Mother Earth, who wraps her arms around us and holds us and guides us on this journey. And we say thank you. Aho, Ashi, Amen, blessed be, Alhamdulillah, and so it is. And so we gather today to look at three different aspects. We're going to start with Lughnasadh and to the full moon, and from there we'll talk about Lionsgate. And please, as we go along, I probably will not be able to see you if you raise your hand or wave at me, because part of the time I'll be sharing the screen. But if you have a question or a comment, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and speak up, because I appreciate your participation, and sometimes you need some clarification on something that I've said. So Lughnasadh, or Lughnasadh, is named for the Celtic god Lu. Now, there are other names like Lammas and things that are used in other traditions, but in the Irish Celtic tradition, and actually the Scottish as well, Lughnasadh is the name of this harvest festival, and it's a time of gratitude. So if you have a candle with you, that would be a good thing to go ahead and light this now, or you can light it in a few minutes. So let's see. Let me share the screen first, and before I start talking about things, you've already seen that cover page. But let me go to the fire. So My friends in Ireland who are a part of the Temple of Eru, of which I'm also a member, sends out regular emails and especially information at these harvest times. Right now, the people who are a part of the Temple of Eru, right now in Ireland, are gathering around the Lughnasadh fire. It's 7 o'clock there in Ireland. And right now, as we speak, they're lighting the fire and gathering around to give thanksgiving. So, in their message that came, I think I got it yesterday, Europe, like the rest of the world, is having record high temperatures, and Ireland is experiencing the high temperatures as well as monsoon rains. So, in the message, rather than complaining about the heat or too much rain or whatever, what they were expressing is gratitude for this year's record-breaking size of vegetables because of the heat and the rain. And even though the ocean temperatures are very high, they are expressing gratitude because this year they're able to see the orca whales off the coast of Donegal, which ordinarily they don't see. So if you will light your candle looking there at the fire, I and the Temple of Eru invite you to light your fire or candle, or light it in your heart if you don't have a candle nearby, for this Lughnasadh, August 1st. Take time to pause and be still, to listen to the wisdom of our ancestors who walked a path of heart as we seek to pave the way and create a better world for the generations to come. So join me around the fire. Listen to the wind and the crackle of the wood. And with that memory of the fire in your heart, look at this picture of Mother Earth. And look at the picture or close your eyes and let Grandmother Earth guide us. We take a breath and release that breath. And with that breath, we release what stops us from gathering in to us the deep gratitude for the gift of our lives and the gift of all the beings of Grandmother Earth. Let our intention be to focus on how we can stand for the sacredness of life, standing up as a warrior of the heart, cherishing and sustaining the sacredness of life for all the children of Mother Earth. Take another breath in, and with that breath, release your intention to go forward with courage, delight, and an open heart to love those around you. This is an auspicious moon that we're coming up on. It is a supermoon, and I'll tell you a little about that in a minute. But the moon and its mysterious light that illuminates the darkness, it brings to us the time when it comes about because of where the moon and the earth and the sun are sitting. The moon is in opposition to the sun, bringing us kind of a yin and a yang balance. The moon represents our inner world and our hidden emotions and desires and fears and dreams. So working with moon energy as she goes through her cycles can help us unlock our creativity and express who we truly, truly are. The ancient Egyptians and the pre-Celts, and if you guys have followed me, you know that's where I go with most of my teachings, to the ancient Egyptians and the pre-Celts. They saw the wane and the wax of the moon as the metronome that regulated time. They honored, and still today honor, the land with celebrations connected to harvesting and planting. Most of the world uses the Gregorian calendar that requires various numbers during days, using 12 months. But even today, the Egyptians and most of the Islamic world use the Coptic calendar, or sometimes called the solar calendar, based on 13 cycles, and carry on their celebrations and ceremonies around that moon cycle calendar. So today we're experiencing a supermoon, and this one, as well as the second full moon in August, very unusual. This will come on August 30th, 31st. The supermoon means that they're closer to the earth. And so when we have a supermoon, that means we feel the effects of the moon more strongly because it's closer to us. So the supermoon in late August, August 30th or 31st, will be the closest supermoon this year. It's 222,000 miles from Earth, which is closer than it usually is. And then that late August will also be called a blue moon because it's the second full moon in a calendar month. And the astrologers tell us that two full moons, supermoons, in the same month offer us a very, very strong vibration to clear and release and let go and walk away from things that no longer help us on our spiritual path or our earthly path. So let me click one more. There we go. So this full moon is in Aquarius, and it guides us to gently and lovingly prepare to let go of all those things that are heavy for us. Now, Aquarius is the water bearer in terms of the symbol, carrying the water on the shoulder, but Aquarius is an air sign. So because of that, with the full moon in Aquarius, we may have some chatter going on in our minds because it's the air sign. And maybe you're feeling overly emotional or sensitive. You may find that some old hurts are rising up. But Aquarius, the water bearer, can help gather those thoughts and those emotions and help transmute them. So when we transmute those things, we feel more aligned, and then the right answers, the right path for us can be found more easily. So because we're in an air sign, you might do better to write things down or talk things out with a friend. Talking or writing, part of that, putting it out there into the world. And so what I'd like you to do for just a couple of minutes, I'll chant for just a little bit, but bring up those thoughts, those ideas, those old hurts, anything that you want to release. And then write them down or make a few mental notes, but gather what's holding you back. So just take a moment to do that. Ooh, 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 Though you probably need to spend more time working with these issues, you may find it helpful to write these down, and later when you can go outside, literally burn away the issues by burning the paper that you've written them on. But right now, what I'd like you to do is feel yourself standing beside the loving fires of the South, standing there with the love of the goddesses surrounding and enfolding you. Hathor and Bast of the Egyptian line are there to bring us joy, but they are also there to stoke the fire, the healing fire. Bridget, the Celtic goddess of the fire, is there, who brings the spark. Anya, the goddess of love and light, she brings light into the darkness. And there's Kuan Yin, the bodhisattva of compassion, who came back to the earth because she heard the cries of humanity. So choose your goddess or take all of the goddesses, stand around the fire with them, and let each of us on this call stand around the fire together and listen to these words coming from the ancestors. We imbue you with the ability to find the issues that no longer help you, the courage to face those old hurts, the courage to face our fears, our disappointments, those words that rumble through our mind from the past. And the goddesses imbue us with the strength to step into our loving, healing fire. Let the fires burn the old. Let yourself become the phoenix and rise up fresh, clear, open, and ready to step into the Lionsgate. So before we step into the Lionsgate, I want to take a little pause. You've had a few minutes of reflection time. And let me see if anyone, no messages in the chat section, but Any comments, any questions, anything you'd like to bring out right now before we look at Lionsgate and what that presents us with? Reflections on anything that these images have brought up for you? Silence across the board. All right. Well, let me go back to and Lionsgate, and as I said before, you know, if something comes to you, feel free to unmute yourself and speak up. So the third of our three things that we're honoring today is the Lionsgate portal. It opens tomorrow, July the 28th, through August the 12th. And then the very strongest energy coming through that is on August the 8th. But we are most definitely in the portal energy swirling around us. The gate is open. It's there. The alignment between the Earth and the star Sirius happens, and we get this increase in energy between the physical and the spiritual realms. That's why we call it a portal, because it opens that space between. And sometimes during Lionsgate, if you will allow yourself to, you can see through that portal, see into the other side, and from the other side, looking back at our humanness, sometimes we can find some issues that otherwise just our human self won't let them rise up and say, oh, I need to work on that. So use this time and with the Lionsgate to look from the other side at your human self and say, what am I doing that is helpful for my growth? And what am I doing that slows me down? And during this portal, Venus and Chiron, which is out in an asteroid belt, both of those are in retrograde, and the energy from them cause this to be a really powerful time for clearing our systems. Venus is the planet of love and all things beautiful and balanced. And so in retrograde, she shows us everything that's holding us back. And sometimes it can be a very difficult, tough learning period when we open our eyes and let ourselves recognize what is holding us back. And then Chiron is called the wounded healer asteroid. It seeks to bring great healing through difficult teachings. So Venus may be bringing us difficult teachings, and Chiron is there helping us to heal and work through that. The powerful time to clear and reset your system. And Venus doing her backspin, the retrograde in Leo, can show us where and why we're not happy, can highlight maybe where we're out of balance, especially in regard to relationships and finances. So we use the Lughnasadh fires and the full moon to illuminate what Lionsgate exposes to us. So let the light clear what you can find. Look deeply into your heart and see what's there that you need to release. So as we near the close of the ceremony, think on these things, and after we close today, I would recommend that you either spend some time in meditation or spend some time journaling and trying to let that flow come through to you, because you are open now. You're at a place where maybe you can see, hear, feel, remember those things that at other times just don't come through for you, because we are too much into our human self to let that light shine on our patterns. We want to hold on to who we think we are. Our ego, our personality wants to keep us just like we are. But our spiritual side only wants us to grow. And of course, growth always means change. So we're in this struggle between the spiritual and the physical aspect, and the Lionsgate portal, the new moon, as well as this harvest festival is the time to really open yourself and let these thoughts and these memories and these issues come forward so that you can spend some time working on them. So we'll have just a few minutes to chat here, but before we do that, let's close our ceremony circle by thanking the ancestors for coming. There's Mother Earth watching over us. And I turn to the north and say thank you. Thank you to Danu, and thank you to Ma'at for calling us into the warrior of the heart, for calling us to remember who we are. Thank you. Thank you for opening the door. And in the west, thank you for coming, Sekhmet and Morrigan. You protected us. You have guided us through the darkness, and we thank you for your help. And I turn to the south, where the goddesses rise up dancing and laughing, and with them, the phoenix rises from the fire. The phoenix rises up and says, "Come and fly with me." And we say, "Thank you." And we go to the east and we say, "Thank you" to the ancestors who bring the light. We ask all of you to stay with us if you can, to go if you must, but help us remember who we truly are. And I come back full circle and thank the moon and thank the earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, Ashi, Amen. Blessed be, Alhamdulillah. And so it is. So here we are, back together again. So would anyone like to speak up about, yes, Jan, I see you there. Go right ahead.
I just have to share before I express what I'm going through, that this morning I woke up at 5 to actually take a little pack rat who's destroying my garden out farther away from my house. And but anyway, the full moon, the super full moon, was spectacular. It was setting right over Sleeping Ute Mountain, which is to the southwest of me. It was amazing. And I wanted to share with you all that when the moon sets in the morning, it has a very feminine face. When it rises in the east, after sunset, it has a very masculine face. So the moon just kind of tilts and goes down differently, so that the eye and the eyebrow of the male becomes pouty lips of the female. It is so cool. And I hope that you all can experience the the setting of the full moon. It was spectacular this morning.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And I am going through major change. So this meant so much to me because it's giving me something to hold on to. So thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Anyone else want to share? It's a time of transition. It's a time, it's a good thing, but it doesn't mean that it's all joyful. You can see the joy on the other side, but it may be painful at the moment as we go through it. Ulrike.
Yes, I mean, I felt the beginning of the Lionsgate. I wasn't able to sleep at all at night, but it was just kind of lying in bed, not being restless. I wasn't getting nervous. It was just being in myself. I knew I turned from left to the back to the right, and past time till 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I was able to sleep for 2 hours. But that happened for the last 3 days. Last night I could sleep. So it was very interesting because normally I have not a very good sleep before the full moon. But this year I feel the energies so much. And well, okay, I wrote it in the chat. My husband left me. So it's a full new life for me, it's so exciting. I have to step into for myself, and everything you said, it's just for me, it's positive. I'm just feeding on all the information on the energies, and it's really good. I mean, I see the changes, and it's so in sync with everything. Whatever I do, it's in sync with the energies around me. It's fascinating. So it's a big time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a transition. Yes.
Yeah.
My heart goes with you. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It was a bit toxic, so it was. It's okay. I mean, actually I went Chaka, He's gone, so yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. It's a good transition. It's not so bad.
Very good. Yeah. Will anyone else want to share anything? Well, I thank you everyone for coming today, and I appreciate you being here and being a part of this ceremony. And go out and look at the full moon tonight if you can.